Hi, I'm Jeanette and welcome to my channel where I share information on solo trips I've taken and solo trips I'm planning to take to help you think about and plan your own solo travel. One recent trip that I went on solo was to Quebec City. I've always wanted to go there and I don't know why I haven't been already, but I had the opportunity to take a visit. So this one was a little bit different because I didn't fly into Quebec, I sailed in. I got on a cruise ship in Manhattan in New York City and we sailed all the way up to Quebec City. And we stopped in Boston, Maine, Eastport, Maine. We stopped in Halifax on the way up to Quebec. And it really was a lot of fun. And I got to see some really cool small towns like Eastport, Maine. I'd never been there. It's a small town, but it has a lot to offer. So if you drive through there or sail to there, stop in Eastport. It really was a lot of fun. Once we got to Quebec City, I was so excited because I've always wanted to visit. Now, before we got there, I did a little bit of research because I had planned to stay a few days so that I could tour around the city and see everything there. The first thing I looked for, of course, was a place to stay. So I did my usual. I hit Google to learn about places where first-time tourists might like to stay. I looked at Airbnb, I looked at AARP, I looked through my credit card, trying to find places to stay at the best price for me. And I settled on this really cool place. It was a loft in an old bank building that had been converted into small lofts or little apartments. And it operates as a hotel and Airbnb. You can find it there as well. They don't have a front desk, and that's really important. I like when hotels, Airbnbs don't have a front desk, or you don't have to meet a person. You have a code to log in and let yourself in. And I kind of like those better. It just saves time. So this was that. I had a code. However, I couldn't check in until I think it was 2 or 3 o'clock, which is normal for a hotel or Airbnb. And it was really important for me to know that before I got there, because I was coming off of the ship. I had my bags and I couldn't leave them on the ship. So I needed to figure out what I was going to do with my bags. And I always check when I look for a hotel or Airbnb if they allow arriving early and storing your baggage. Now, this loft didn't have a front desk, so there was nowhere to leave my baggage. However, I discovered that that particular property had several properties, or has several properties in Quebec City, and they allow storage in some of their other properties. And as luck would have it, one of the properties where I could store my bags was right next to the property that I was going to be staying in. So I was able to walk from the ship to my accommodation, because Quebec City it is very small, which is nice. You can get around easily. But I was able to walk to where I was going to leave my baggage. I had a code. Again, there was no front desk, but I had a code. I could leave my baggage safely there, and that's what I did. And then off I went. Now, one of my favorite things to do in a brand new city, brand new to me, is the hop on, hop off bus. Almost every major city has it. There are different companies that do it. You may find 1, 2, or 3 or more companies in the same city. I don't really have a favorite company, but I do love the hop on, hop off bus. You can get on that bus. Usually there is a guide that's giving you narration as you go around, or you will have headphones and you will listen in your language of preference as you go around, learning about the history of the town, sights to see. You can scope out where you want to go back to, which is why I truly love the hop on, hop off bus. And it's a good way to get around. So on the hop on, hop off bus, I was able to get a good feel for the city and know where I could walk to, find out things I didn't know that I wanted to go back to and see. And it is the best way to learn a new city, in my opinion. I also was lucky enough, my accommodation was right next to a museum. And that museum at the time had a Titanic exhibit. And one of the best exhibits about the Titanic that I have seen, I was lucky enough to see the one in Belfast earlier this year. And that one, of course, is great. But the one in Quebec City was awesome. I don't know how long it's going to be there, but if you go to Quebec City and you see that museum and see that they still have the exhibit, oh, please go. It's so good. And parts of it is interactive. There's an iceberg you can actually touch. There's a lot of video, a lot of audio, a lot of old documents. It's very, very nicely done. And when you think you know everything about the Titanic and what happened, you learn something new. And I did. And it really was enjoyable to go and see that. But the rest of Quebec City is just I can't even describe how much fun it was to be there and see it. I will tell you, it is crowded. There were about 2 other cruise ships in when I got there. One of them stayed overnight, and it was really crowded. So if you go like anywhere else, get up early, try to beat the crowds. The shopping area especially can get really, really crowded. I did take a boat ride. I did the touristy thing, so I took the boat ride to see the waterfalls, and it was spectacular. I love waterfalls, but this one is really spectacular. There's a bridge, of course, you can walk across. You can get really good vantage points of it at different parts there. I did take a bus for that through the hop-on, hop-off company. It wasn't a hop-on, hop-off bus, but through that company, I was able to get a ticket for the bus that goes out to the waterfall. It leaves you there, and I believe it comes back at 3 times in a day. So it will leave you there. You'll have as long as you want, and then come back on a bus that will be waiting there. But there's a visitor center in Quebec near the main hotel, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, that I'm sure everyone has seen at least once somewhere in video and pictures. There is a big tourist information center, and you can find out a lot of information there if you need more information that you haven't found in your research before you got there. Now the Hotel Frontenac, it is absolutely spectacular. Spectacular. It's beautiful up on a hill. It looks like a giant castle, and it's even more beautiful inside. It's very famous. It's been in a lot of either movies or television, print, and it's just gorgeous. So I did go inside and have my one drink there at the bar. The bar is beautiful as well. Probably the best old-fashioned I ever had anywhere. And it's just really luxurious. It felt old, it felt historic. It was just really nice, and it was really crowded. I will tell you that as well, because it's famous. So all of the area around it, there will be a lot of people taking pictures, taking selfies, just like me. But it is a place to see. So when you go to Quebec, don't miss that. And believe me, you won't be able to. And the other things that I did in Quebec that stood out was maple syrup taffy. Now, I never heard of this before. Of course, Canada, maple syrup, we all know about that, but maple syrup taffy. I looked at it the first day when they were selling it. I looked at people eating it, and I thought, no, I'm not gonna like that. It's gonna be too sweet. I was so wrong. About the 3rd day I gave in and I tried it. I have a bed of ice. They drip warm maple syrup on it so it kind of hardens up, and then roll it on a lollipop stick, and there's your maple syrup taffy. Probably one of the best things I ever had. I thought it would be too sweet. It wasn't. It can, as it warms up, get a little drippy, but oh my goodness, was that good. And as I'm going to tell you, as I told my friends, do not tell my dentist, because it's probably not really good for your teeth. But oh my goodness, is it good for the soul. It was delicious. So try it. And the other thing that was a lot of fun to do in the city is on one of the shopping streets, there were a lot of people kind of huddled around this red door and taking pictures. And if you look closely and listened, you realize that a lot of these people who were excited and taking pictures were from Korea. And it took me a minute to understand why. If you are a fan of the show on Netflix called The Guardian, The Lonely and the Great Guard, a lot of that is filmed in Quebec City, and that red door is a big thing in this show. So there were a lot of fans taking pictures of just this blank red door, and there were a lot of people staring at these people, wondering what they were doing and not understanding. So that was kind of fun too, to watch the reaction of people. But it was really fun. I had a great time in Quebec City all by myself. I talked to tourists, I talked to locals, I shopped, I ate. The food is fantastic. The ice cream that I had, which I don't eat a lot of, I wanted to go back and get seconds and thirds. It's just, everything was delicious. Everything was fun. People there were happy. I went to see the changing leaves. We saw some, we were a little bit early, we saw some, but it was just a lovely place. It is safe. I walked around Quebec City by myself at different hours, daytime, nighttime, never had a problem. My accommodation was safe. I never felt unsafe anywhere. If I needed direction or anything, I walked up to a local, not a problem. French is spoken in Quebec City. My French is terrible, but my English is wonderful. So I did have Google Translate, and if I came upon someone who didn't really speak English, Google Translate saved me, but I didn't have a problem moving around, reading signs with Google Translate. If I had to, no problem with language. Everything I did on my own. I was totally alone in Quebec City and had the time of my life. So when you're planning your next solo trip or trips, think about Quebec City and going solo. You'll have a great time. Oh, and don't forget, if you have any questions or comments, put them in the comment section and I'll respond to you. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe and come back for more. Happy solo traveling!